Welcome to Live It, Love It, Ask It. This is a regular series that I run fortnightly in my Facebook group, Live It, Love It, Sell It. It's so much fun, it's live, it's risky because I don't know what questions people are going to bring. And if you want to take part, come and join the group. Live It, Love It, Sell It. Thanks for watching. All right, my lovely. So Live It, Love It, Ask It. You bring in your question. And I have no idea what this question is, all right? And I do that for a reason, because I want to be showing everyone my sales prowess, but also I want to be keeping myself on the ball as well and get myself thinking. So, okay, darling, what's your question?
So I've done a lot of networking, and you do get to sort of put people into sort of what they do very quickly, because sometimes you've got like 10 seconds to sort of say what you do, etc. Because of what I do, I find it very hard to kind of do that succinct message without sort of going into a lot of fire hydrant of all what I can do. So it's trying to get that obviously you build up that relationship over time of what you do, but it's trying to sort of mention or to try and say things that you do without obviously being pigeonholed into that just one area, and obviously, you know, that type of thing. So it's those general introductions that you kind of do.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, like you're the sales coach, that can sort of obviously encompass quite a lot.
Yeah.
So it's trying to sort of have those sort of, because people do tend to generalize once they start talking to you. Oh yeah, that person does wheels, that person does graphics. You know, we kind of keep it very simple, don't we? Or I do as well. So it's just trying to sort of work out how the best way to do things like that is.
Okay. There's a really big thing to think about with this, whereby when you're in the situation of networking, like you say, it's got to be a really short, succinct sentence, if you like, as to what it is that you do. And we always fall into the trap of trying to tell everybody what we do. So actually the best way to position this for you to work on it, because we may not get it exactly tonight, is to say to you, what is the outcome I get from working with you?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the only way you can do this very short, sharp sentence that sums up what it is that you can do for me, because it's not really about what you do, it's about what you do for me. So for instance, I'll always say, I help you to fall in love with sales. Now actually, I haven't told you anything about what I do to do that, but immediately I've probably helped you to think, I hate sales, so this woman might be somebody I need to speak to.
Yeah.
So that's what you need to be thinking when you're looking for that very first sharp, short sentence as to what it is that you do. But it's actually, what is it that you do as an outcome for the customer? So when you think about all the things that you do, and I know there's lots of them, but ultimately, what is it I get from you? That bigger picture, what is in my outcome having worked with you? Whatever I want you to do for me, what's that one thing I then have based on the fact I've worked with you?
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, I get. So it's what they have as the outcome, as opposed to my role, etc. that
Exactly.
I'm playing.
So it might be something like, well, actually, I give you a greater understanding of how to manage your tech in your business.
Yeah.
For instance, that's a very big overview, big picture of what you do without giving me all the detail of how you do it. But my ultimate outcome is, all of a sudden, I will understand how to use tech in my business.
Yes.
Wow. You know, actually now I'm excited because I am not a techie person, or I don't know everything about tech. So that one sentence as that outcome piece suddenly makes me much more interested in you. And then the conversation goes on from that. Yes. So actually at that point I might say, so how do you do that, Georgina? Well, of course, that's then the bigger conversation. But that introduction stuff, that what is it that you do for the customer? What's the outcome I get? That's that first, we call it an elevator pitch, some of us.
Yeah.
That's that first sentence. Not what you do, but what is it that you do for me? So what's the outcome I get from working with you?
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yeah, no, that is. Again, it's just keep doing that. Hi, Teresa. Teresa's on as well. So,
But
yeah, it's because we all fall into that trap, as in, or we go for our job titles and etc., isn't it? And
yeah,
so,
yeah. And of course that will mean a lot of different things to a lot of people. So, whatever you call yourself might mean this to Mr. Smith, but this to Mr. Jones. And
yeah,
actually, what's the job title? Well, that doesn't matter to me what your job title is. What really matters is what's in it for me. What do I get as a result of working with Georgina? So it's that big picture piece. And then you need to, I think you need to generalize with that sentence, that very first sentence. You need to make that a big general statement. What's this thing that you help with? Well, as I see it, you're the tech lady. That's how I always think of you. So anything to do with tech, I know I can come and ask you.
yeah,
That's quite special that I think that about you, because you've done something right. Because remember that little bit that you said at the beginning, which is almost that fear. Well, if I don't tell them I do this, they won't know I do it. Yeah?
yeah, yes,
And that's always our fear, isn't it, when we're trying to tell someone what we do? Because, I want to tell them everything I do and every part of their business I can help in. But actually, it's too soon for that. You don't need that bit yet. Actually, what you really need to do is generalize as to what area of business can you help me with? Well, you can help me with my tech.
yeah,
And I'm like, yeah, I need to know this lady because my tech's rubbish and I don't know anything about tech. And actually, I don't want to do tech because I do
yeah,
sales and I do the coaching. So I don't want to do the tech piece. So that's when you suddenly become very interesting. So don't hold the fear of, I might miss out helping them with something that they don't know I do, because
yeah,
you've made the statement big enough for them to know, yes, you can help them with anything to do with
yeah.
that. That's the first port of call, that first sentence. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, no, it does. It does. It's just obviously with tech, it's probably a bit like sales. It's such an umbrella term, you don't want to sort of have it so wide, that you're, you know, um, washing machine tech, if you see what I'm saying. But obviously at the same time, it's trying to narrow it down a little bit.
Okay, so if tech's too big, what is it you help me with?
So you could go into like the software side, because that's where I want to obviously specialize and sort of steer clear a little bit, although it touches on it with the hardware, but it's mainly your business tech.
Right. So when you say software,
Yeah.
yeah, what does software do for my business?
There's obviously different parts, but it's the whole, every touch point of your business with the software. So it could be a CRM system, it could be, a content management system, it could be content creation, lots of different types of software. So that you end up getting involved with.
Okay,
And
so if I get involved in that software, whatever it is, so if we
mhm.
choose 3 out of the 5 or 2 out of the 10, whatever happens, what does that software then do for me in my business?
So it allows you to run your business or to streamline your business,
So
so that you,
now you're
yeah,
coming up with some interesting words. So this
yeah,
is how we work through this sometimes when you're trying to get this elevator pitch. You usually have a big piece of paper as well, obviously, with you. But start writing down, because I'm pushing you now and I'm questioning you. So now I'm streamlining my business. So now I'm interested, because guess what streamline means for me? Streamline means I save time.
yeah,
Streamline means that I don't have to spend as long on something that I might have to, especially something I'm not interested in doing.
yeah,
So now you're choosing a word that's really interesting to me because it's a wonderful solution for me. Do you see where I'm going with this? So
yeah,
it's always about what's my outcome? What's my outcome? So software may be the actual vehicle or the product you tell me about, but it's not what I'm interested in at this point. I don't really care what software you help me with or what you sell to me in terms of software. What I really want to know is how that helps my business. So the outcome of what you do, what does it give me? So the outcome of you recommending the right software means that I save time, I streamline my business, I have greater data. Those are the things that I'm interested in. The outcomes of you doing that for me. So now you can start thinking about, well, actually, I could say that my elevator pitch is about, well, actually, I'm the lady you need to talk to who will help you streamline all of your tech or streamline your information in your business. You know the words because these have got to be your words in order to give you this. More time, more information, more data, better customer service.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of outcomes I think you would get from using the right software.
Yeah.
You'll know better than me because you're the software queen. So those are the things you've got to start thinking about. And from that, you'll end up with just this one sentence that makes sense as to what the outcome is you can give me for my business.
Yeah.
Okay. That says, "Hey, Jules," and I don't really know who it is.
That's Jane Jones.
Oh, Jane. Hi, Jane. So I think anyone actually, not obviously is Georgina's question, and we've talked about from your perspective, Georgina, but anybody who's got that same problem or that same question, it's not about all the things you can do. It's not even about all the products you can sell. It's about the outcomes that you can give to me as your client. Yeah. So now it's all about me. That first sentence is all about what is it you help me with? What is it you give to me? And then that's when it becomes a really powerful one sentence thing. From there, then you'll get questions back and you'll start a conversation. Does that help you?
Yeah, no, it has. Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Jules. It's something that, as I say, we fall into the trap when you're networking. It's like, oh, so what is it that you do? And it is that role that, that you get into the habit of. And like you say, even the elevator pitch, it's been very useful.
You can, like you say, it's the fear of not telling them something that you do that you can do. There's that, isn't there? Because you can walk away and think, oh, I didn't tell her I did this and she might want this. But that's then trying to almost be everything to everyone. Whereas when you make it more general but with an outcome to them, and it's always going to be general because you don't know them well enough yet. But you can definitely think of those touch points that are going to be good for any business. Streamlining, time saving, data capture, more information about your customers, customer service, better customer service. All those things, for me, are outcomes of having great software in place and great tech in place and the streamlining of it all. That's, for me, I think, that where you need to be focusing first off.
Yeah.
You got any other questions on the back of it? Because you can ask.
I mean, so again, it's following on from that really. So it's again, we've got it as in you don't necessarily know them yet. So, like you say, different businesses require different sort of tech involvement, and obviously they're at different stages. So, it's kind of, so it's kind of still with that same question as in that you're giving them the outcome, but some businesses will be looking at if they're scaling up, for example, how do they sort of put information so that their first employee can get information, that type of thing.
Their first employee, as in so that they've got internal systems in order to onboard them?
Yeah, exactly. So they're changing from that, they're transitioning from that sort of sole proprietor, sole sort of trader to their first sort of who they're working with. And the systems that are involved with that obviously change, etc. So that's the sort of question. So sometimes it's needing to know more what they do as well, or what stage they are at their business.
Yeah, and I also think, what is the solution they're looking for, because they will have quite clear in their mind what they want to get from their tech. So it's getting their perspective on it. Like
Yes.
I always talk about stepping into their world. Instead of us assuming that this might be what they want next, what do they think it looks like? Because then you're in a really strong position of advising them whether they're thinking the right way, or whether you can even bring them in a different angle. But the point is, you've asked them first, what is it that you're looking to do next? Where do you
Yes.
think I can help you? So then you're asking them instead of telling them what you assume you think you can help them with.
Exactly.
So, and this is all going back to the same thing I've always talked about with the kind of life skills or sales skills, and having these human conversations, where we're brave enough to ask the questions we want to ask. Even sometimes we feel, oh God, I can't really ask them that. Well, actually, yes, you can. Because by asking that, it shows you really do want to understand what their world looks like, which is very powerful. Because now I'm thinking, well, this feels different. This lady's really interesting. And she's interested in me, and she wants to understand where I'm coming from. Now I trust her.
Yeah.
Now you're well on the way to selling to them without even realising it, because you've made that human connection.
Yeah.
So yes, every single customer is probably going to want a different thing, which is why that very first sentence has to be very general, but giving an outcome. So these are generally the outcomes that I give to my clients are dun, dun, dun. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not assuming anything. You're just saying these are the sort of outcomes I give my clients. Now they'll ask you another question. Now your opportunity is you've started a conversation. So anything you want to ask them, you can ask them. So what do you do with your tech currently? What systems are you using currently? What's the business plan of the company? Where are you going to be in 12 months? Those questions are really great questions, because then you have got a complete vision of what their vision is of their business. Now you can start saying, so I now know what software you're going to need to help you get there.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Great place to come from with selling. Is that helpful?
Yeah, definitely. Exactly. It's kind of, so that's really helpful. Yeah.
Try not to get caught in the trap of having to tell them everything you do, and try and go with what they're specifically looking for, and then add value to that. Because if there's other things they don't know about, that's where you bring in your expertise. Instead of saying, well, actually, I can do all of these 100 things, and they'll just shut down, because actually they don't want 100 things right now. They just have this one thing that they want, one problem they need to solve, and that's this.
Yeah.
What are the comments looking like? Are there any? Because I haven't seen the comments. Are there any questions or anything?
Yeah. Well, Louise says about features, benefits, and outcomes. So.
So for the first announcement of who you are, if you like, at networking, which is kind of where the original question came, that is not the place for features and benefits. That's very much just about, here's the outcome I give my clients.
Yeah.
That's all it needs to start with, and then you can work back when they're really interested in you. Then you can start talking about features and benefits. Definitely.
Yeah. And then Teresa's loving how it's being broken down. So hopefully this is useful. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, because I think, anyone, whatever business you're in, if that's how you look at it, great big picture outcome. Right, now bring it back down then and break it down into how you help your customers. Ready for that next part of the conversation. But your questioning back to the customer is just as important for you to get where you need to be with positioning your offering and how you solve the problem. Because you just don't want to be solving every problem at once, because that just won't work. It won't work for you as much as it won't work for them. So, alrighty. So you can go off to networking now and test all of these things out, and then dump it down on a piece of paper. Get your big piece of paper. Just start putting down some of these outcomes, and just make them bullet point words.
Yeah.
What's the outcome I give my customers? And we talked about some of those earlier. And then they're the things that are actually the things that are interesting to me. They're the things that I want to know about. Always what's in it for the customer.
Yeah. It makes perfect sense. And as I say, so lead from that sort of side of it.
Don't be frightened of missing out on anything that you do, because they will find out about that in that longer term relationship. I promise you. They just will. You build that relationship with them, then the next time they have something, they'll come back to you, and then you can offer them the other thing that you do, but at the right time in their journey.
Yeah.
Because I guess if you think like a buyer, so if you're buying, Georgina, if somebody's coming to you and saying, well, I do, and then they list this long list of all the things they do, how likely are you to shut down?
Yeah. And especially it's not in a topic that they actually love either, especially tech,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whereas if, like, because I don't love tech, you know that, because I've said to you loads of I hate tech. If then you met me for the first time, but you said using tech or through tech, I give you these outcomes, then I'm going to be like, I love you. Even though I hate tech, I love you because you can help me solve those problems.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the key to it, really. So.
Yeah.
So we'll be very, very interested in hearing what your elevator pitch is next time we meet you, Georgina. But in all honesty, once you've nailed it, I'd love you to perhaps post it in the group, because it would be nice to see what people think of it. If you want to do that, you don't have to, but if you want to share it, it'd be quite interesting to see what you come up with.
Yeah.
So, the other thing that we talked about with elevator pitches, in another group I was chatting with, we talked about how you kind of phrase them. So a lot of people now are saying, I help you too. They start their kind of elevator pitch with that. And it's good. And I like it. And I like the word help. But also, if you want to make it even stronger, you could say, I give you.
Yeah.
Because that's even better and stronger if you're confident enough to say it in that way. So those are the kind of ways to start the sentence, which also helps you to realise you've got to give them an outcome at the end of that sentence. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I love elevator pitches. We'll have to do a bit more on these, I think. It'd be quite fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, NatWest does an elevator pitch, and this is the only thing that I would say is you do change it depending on obviously the audience that you're doing it to. So if you're obviously going for funding, it would be very different to obviously if you're doing it to provide a service to a business.
Definitely, yeah. And obviously that's a different territory, sort of pitching for something like funding, pitching in Dragon's Den, anything like that is going to feel different to you actually pitching to your customer. So, and then there's an argument that you would pitch different to different types of customers.
Yeah.
And that's fair enough to say, but actually if you think about the point we're making with this being such a general statement, it should be general to all. Just that very first opening statement. If you can think of something that's so generic that actually fits all in terms of an outcome, because actually most companies will want streamlining, most companies will want more information, better data, better customer service. They're fairly generic outcomes. It's a lot less for you to worry about then, to have to keep worrying about changing your first line. So if you can make it very generic, great. Pitching, NatWest, funding, very different territory. But anyone who's interested in that, we could always do a session on that or a question on that. That'd be great fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, are you actually in the hub right now? Are you working in the hub?
No, I'm not. I'm sort of an alumni of it, so I kind of keep going in and out, as it were. So.
So you get benefit of some of their sessions and stuff, which is good. Yeah, that's brilliant.
You were in there the other week.
I go in once a month. So if you're in the same time, let's grab a coffee. That would be cool. So somebody says here, how about something like, from entry level to upscaling, it's gone off the screen. Can you see that?
So Dee Coxon said, how about something like, from entry level to up to scaling, I take the worry out of tech so my clients can get on with running their business.
Nice.
Yeah, it is a worry with tech, as in if you're using it or if you're, not quite sure of what it's doing, etc.
Definitely, and there's so many tech products. There's so much software. Just you and I talking. Yeah, it is overwhelming. Just you and I talking about how to do this, go live. There's several different pieces of software I can use. And I'm definitely very much like, I found one, I do not want to start dabbling with others. Whereas you're a tester, you're a big tester, and I know that. And that's actually a great way to be. But for me, it's like, no, Georgina, just tell me which one I need to use, and that's the one I'm going to use. You know, so it's lovely that we're all so different. But actually, you know, that's the beauty of understanding your customer and what they really want, you know. So it's a very interesting subject, but I like what that says there, because it covers, like, from entry level. I haven't got it in front of me still, but from entry level to scaling up. So now you're covering a whole host as that opening statement of how you can, what was it, worry free she used as well.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to remember it.
Take the worry out of tech.
Yeah, take the worry out of tech. Brilliant. Love it. Love it. And that's very much addressing the emotions and the outcome I'm going to get. And those are the two best things that you can talk to straight away, because that's how I connect.
Yeah.
Well, that's how we connect as humans. So, good question, Georgina. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And I hope that obviously everyone listening...
the answer.
Yeah, well, there's obviously lots of answers. There's some great suggestions coming from the groupies, which is always useful. But I think ultimately anyone who's trying to do this, it's about just making sure that it's a really big, generic outcome kind of statement. That's the one that's going to make the most ground. And then the further conversation is, as we just mentioned. So I hope everyone's enjoyed that, and I hope it's actually streamed all right. I shall check it now when we finish. But yay, can't wait to hear your elevator pitch, that says. Yeah, brilliant. So yeah, let us know when you've got it nailed, Georgina. Yeah. And, you know, like you say, it may well change, but it's just having something you're really comfortable with that you can just say and not to worry anymore about it.
Yeah, that's it. It's to sort of, you know, be comfortable with who you are and how you say it, isn't it? Especially when you're networking and going into different places. Yeah, and it becomes very natural once you've got it. Once it feels right and the language is right, you just reel it off. You know, you do it without thinking. I mean, if it becomes a subconscious thing, then it's magic then, because you're not worrying about it at all. So, alrighty, my lovely. Thank you, darling.
Thank you so much for being my guest, and no doubt we will have a cup of coffee soon, because we're certainly overdue.
Yes, definitely. Yes, we will catch up soon.
All right, my darling. You take care.
Thank you.
And thanks for joining us, everybody. See you soon. Ta-da for now. Thanks for joining us on Live It, Love It, Ask It. I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you'd like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, then please do. And don't forget to press the bell so that you get every notification of new videos loaded. Hope to see you again really soon. Take care and ta-ra for now.